Hello everyone. Today we'll continue with the chapter A Shot in the Dark. We already have seen the summary, the characters of the chapter. Without wasting much of the time with the same things, we'll just quickly revise what we have seen in the last part. We saw that Philip Sletherby, while he was traveling in the train and he was going to meet Mrs. Solpen Jago, at that time he meets a traveler who was Bertie, who introduces himself as the second son of Mrs. Solpen Jago. And as he lost his purse somewhere when he was buying something, at that time he knew that he did not have money, and so he was trying to borrow money from Philip Sletherby. He asked money from Philip Sletherby because he knew that he was coming to his house, that is his mother's place, and so he could return his money easily there. He found himself to be very lucky to have someone in the train with him who was an acquaintance of his mother, so that it would be easy to borrow money from him. Further, Philip Sletherby, before providing him the help, before giving him the money, he just wanted to make sure that Bertie was actually the son of Mrs. Solpen Jago and not someone who was just lying and bluffing. He tried to test him. He asked him a few questions. The first one was that what was the crest that he used, and Dandelion and the other crest, Jago crest, were the two things that he said that they used as a symbol. But Philip Sletherby was not sure about it, that he was telling the truth. We'll continue the chapter further from here. There was silence for a moment or two, and the young man began to collect his fishing tackle and other belongings from the rack. "My station is the next one," he announced. "I have never met your mother," said Sletherby suddenly, "though we have corresponded several times." Here, after the questions were answered by Bertie, Phillips, as he was not sure, he did not speak a word for a few minutes, and then later he collected his things and said that his station was the next one, and so he will be moving off the train then. And he moreover said that he never had met his mother, that is, he never had met Mrs. Solpen Jago, but no doubt he had had a word with her many times. "My introduction to her was through political friends. Does she resemble you at all in feature?" This was another test that Philip Sletherby was trying to take from Bertie. He asked that he had never met Mrs. Solpen Jago, but he just wanted to make sure if Bertie could answer his question, and he asked that if he resembled, मतलब कि वो थोड़ा बहुत भी similar लगता है अपनी मम्मी जैसा. "I should rather like to be able to pick her out if she happened to be on the platform to meet me. She is supposed to be like me. She has the same dark brown hair and high color. It runs in her family. I say, this is where I get out." Bertie, to the appearance question that Philip Sletherby put forward to Bertie, Bertie answers that his mother, that is Mrs. Solpen Jago, she has brown colored hair, dark brown colored hair, and she has high color, and she has this in her family. That means everyone in the Jago family has dark brown hair. And this was where Philip Sletherby understood that Bertie was lying, because what he knew was that Solpen Jago had blonde hair. And here Philip Sletherby bids him goodbye and leaves the train. "You've forgotten the 3 quid," said the young man, opening the carriage door and pitching his suitcase onto the platform. Bertie, at that moment, when Philip Sletherby was moving out of the train, asks him that he was going to give him 3 quid, that is, he was going to lend him some money, and that he has forgotten to give him. "I have no intention of lending you £3 or 3 shillings, and said Sletherby severely. To this, Sletherby says कि मुझे तुझे कोई पैसे नहीं देने हैं, वो 3 pounds हो या 3 shillings हो. Shillings and pounds is the currency. But you said." "I know I did. My suspicions hadn't been roused then, though I hadn't necessarily swallowed your story." Bertie कहता है कि पर आपने तो बोला था कि आप मुझे पैसे दोगे. To that, Philip Sletherby says कि हाँ, मैंने कहा था, पर मेरे क्वेश्चंस का satisfactory answers नहीं मिलने पे मुझे तुझे पैसे देने में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. "The error about the crests put me on my guard, notwithstanding the really brilliant way in which you accounted for it. Then I laid a trap for you. I told you that I had never met Mrs. Solpen Jago. As a matter of fact, I met her at lunch on Monday last. She is a pronounced blonde." Here Philip Sletherby said कि मैंने तुझे बताया कि मैं तेरी मदर से कभी नहीं मिला, पर वो सच नहीं है. मैं थोड़े दिनों पहले लास्ट मंडे ही उनसे मिला हूँ एक लंच पे, और वो ब्लॉन्ड है. वो डार्क ब्राउन हेयर नहीं है उनके। द ट्रेन मूव्ड ऑन लीविंग द सो कॉल्ड सन ऑफ द सॉल्टपेन जैगो फैमिली कर्सिंग फ्यूरियसली ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म। दैट मीन्स बर्टी के पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था, बिकॉज अब उसके पास पैसे नहीं बचे थे। ही वॉज इन द होप कि शायद स्लेदरबी उसे पैसे देगा, पर अब वो भी चला गया था और उसके पास पैसे नहीं थे, तो वो कर्ज कर रहा था वहीं पे खड़े रह के कि मेरे साथ क्या गलत हो गया ये। Well, he hasn't opened his fishing expedition by catching a flat, chuckled Sletherby. He would have an entertaining story to recount at dinner that evening, and his clever little trap would earn him applause as a man of resource and astuteness. Astuteness मतलब कि sharpness या wisdom की बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे। फिलिप स्लेदरबी while going to Brilmenor, मिसेस सॉल्पेन जैगो से मिलने के लिए वो जा रहा था ट्रेन से उतर के, उस टाइम सोचता है कि मेरे साथ ये जो हुआ, इस इंसिडेंट्स को मैं समझाऊंगा, सबको बताऊंगा, तो सब मेरी बहुत तारीफ़ करेंगे कि मैं कितना होशियार हूँ, कितना स्मार्ट हूँ कि मैंने किसी को मुझे बेवकूफ़ नहीं बनाने दिया। He was still telling his adventure in imagination to an attentive audience of dinner guests when the train drew up at his destination. On the platform, he was greeted sedately by a tall footman and noisily by Claude People, an important lawyer who had apparently travelled down by the same train. Here when he reaches the house of Mrs. Saltpen Jago, उसको वहाँ वेलकम करने के लिए आता है एक लॉयर जिसका नाम है क्लॉड पीपल। एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लॉयर था जो अभी अभी सेम ट्रेन, मतलब जिसमें फिलिप स्लेदरबी आया था, उसी ट्रेन से वो भी ट्रैवल करके यहाँ पे ब्रिलमेनोर आया था। हेलो स्लेदरबी, यू स्पेंडिंग द वीकेंड एट ब्रिल? गुड, एक्सेलेंट, विल हैव अ राउंड ऑफ गोल्फ टुगेदर टुमारो। हियर वी आर, हियर्स अ कार वेटिंग फॉर अस एंड वेरी नाइस टू। क्लॉड पीपल ग्रीट करता है स्लेदरबी को और कहता है कि हम वीकेंड साथ स्पेंड करने वाले हैं ब्रिलमेनोर में, बहुत मज़ा आएगा और बढ़िया बात है ये, और उसके बाद में हम लोग कल गोल्फ भी खेलेंगे। और उसके बाद इन लोगों को कार दिखती है जो इनको वहाँ पे लेने के लिए आई होती है, एंड दे गेट इनटू द कार एंड मूव टू द ब्रिलमेनोर। The car which won Claude People's approval was a sumptuous looking vehicle which seemed to embody the last word in elegance, comfort and locomotive power. जो कार इनको लेने के लिए आई थी वो कार बहुत ही बढ़िया थी और क्लॉड पीपल ने उसको अप्रूव किया था, मतलब कि क्लॉड पीपल ने उसकी काफ़ी तारीफ़ की थी कि वो बहुत अच्छी दिखने वाली गाड़ी थी और बहुत एलिगेंट थी, कंफर्टेबल थी। Its graceful lines and symmetrical design masks the fact that it was an enormous wheeled structure combining the features of a hotel lounge and the engine room. वो उसकी अलग अलग खासियत बता रहा था कि वो कितनी स्पेशियस है, उसके व्हील का स्ट्रक्चर काफ़ी अच्छा था और उसका इंजन का भी बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्टिविटी था। Different sort of vehicle to the horse-drawn carriage in which our grandfathers used to travel, exclaimed the lawyer appreciatively. And for Sletherby's benefit, they began running over the chief points of perfection in the fitting and mechanism of the car. यहाँ पे और ज़्यादा तारीफ़ करता है वो कार की, और स्लेदरबी भी उसके साथ अप्रूवल देता है कि हाँ ये कार बहुत ही अच्छी है। It was very comfortable to travel over there. The further chapter we'll be seeing in the next session. We don't want to rush with the chapter. It is a lengthy one. But before beginning with the next session, I just want you people to finish the reading of this chapter and we'll continue the chapter in the next session. Thank you.